function multiple tailgate. GMCCI is the is 1,500 participants. C-class of GMC from Dallas at GFC.
Is the summer heat turning your home into an oven? Mission Systems AC and Plumbing was here to help with our $69 tune-up special. Our expert technician.
Good evening, everyone. I do want to thank you all for attending this evening. Excuse me, I do have an issue going on this evening, but I do again want to thank you all for attending this evening for our regular scheduled monthly meeting, August 13th, 2024. If you would please, everyone, head for a word of prayer, and we will definitely get started. Pastor Sharp, if you don't mind.
Don't mind at all. Father, in the name of Jesus, how we do thank you, God, for this day that you made, God. We thank you for this opportunity to share with our neighbors and our friends, God, as we come to look for a better Beaumont. God, we thank you for this association that comes to lift up this neighborhood. And Father, we thank you that you give us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, God, to speak the right things over our city so that we can be a beacon of light to all those who pass through our town. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor. If you all could see my screen, let's see this screen. So I did try to make sure that we had visible our agenda for the evening. If you do have any questions, please feel free. If you can't see it, you can take your finger and scroll across, zoom in, or pinch so that you can visibly see the agenda for the evening. Without further ado, I definitely, again, want to thank everyone for participating. If this is your first time interacting or engaging with the association, please feel free to introduce yourself and your affiliations if you choose. I don't see no new people. Awesome. So being that everybody's here and usual, so we'll move on. The South End Charlton-Pollard Greater Historic Community Association individual business or organization appreciation of the month goes to Jefferson County, Texas District Clerk's Office. If you know the representative, the elected representative, and his office, phenomenal team of individuals. Clerk Jamie Smith is the individual that's running that department at the current time. So if you have any passport needs, anything of that nature, please feel free to let District Clerk Smith know that the South End Charlton-Pollard Community Association sent you his way for your application process to begin. That's not all that they do, but I do know that's one of their main things. Of course, they do all kinds of district clerk records keeping and also information and applications that's available to the citizen. Again, if you see District Clerk Smith and or any member of his team, please tell them congratulations on behalf of the South End Charlton-Pollard Community Association. Awesome. Community news and reports, city, school district, port, county, state, and federal government reports and communications. I'm more than willing to have anyone that has that information from the city. I see Miles is on the line. Well, I saw Miles was on the line.
I'm here.
Okay, okay, I see him. I see him. So, Miles, if you have any information from the city about my management, please feel free to share. You have the floor.
I think last week they closed the Parks Master Plan survey. We are getting closer to the last or the presentation of the proposed city budget. It'll be at our next meeting, which would be August 20th. So that's kind of one of the bigger projects. We'll be bringing back the Beaumont Youth Advisory Council. And we're looking to actually host, we'll be able to host a Youth Advisory Council Summit in the spring. That's what we're looking at. So there's some ways to, I think the different departments in the city of Beaumont are doing different things to engage the youth. So we're just one part of that. We're part of a bigger picture. And obviously, we want to kind of, I guess for me personally, I do want to get we want to get more engaged in neighborhood association meetings and kind of, I would say more engaged. It's probably the proper term to use. I think we do a good job of most of them, but just making sure that we can support the neighborhoods and reaching out to the people. And so therefore we can solve a lot more problems at our neighborhood meetings, quite possibly before they even get past that. So I think that's just being a good partner, looking at different ways to adjust your approach. And if there's any feedback y'all have from that, let me know.
So, any questions or communications back to Miles? Of course, he'll be on for probably the duration of the meeting. So if you have any questions afterwards, please feel free to reach out to him. Also, Ms. Sheree Reed, I see you're on the line. Is there any information you would like to communicate from the city as well?
Good afternoon or good evening. I think we're evening now. I think Miles touched on most of it, but the August 20th meeting, we will be presenting the city budget for council to review in its entirety. The budget is scheduled to be approved on September 17th. So those are two regularly scheduled council meetings. We also, he was correct, the Parks Master Plan closed on last Monday. So the next step is that there will be steering committees, members of the community that will be asked to participate in what they're considering focus groups to determine what's best for the parks, and hopefully putting together a master plan sometime before the end of the year. So excited about those projects as well. And that's really it. It's just looking forward to getting through budget season. The city has a lot of interesting things that we have in our strategic plan that the budget is focused around. We passed our bond for water and sewer passed last week. So there was a big bond for water and sewer, which is going to go towards infrastructure and some projects in the city. So there's some pretty exciting things that are happening. As usual, we're every first and third Tuesday at 1:30. You can watch us on City Live or the YouTube channel, and 5:30 on the fifth Tuesday.
Thank you, ma'am, for that information. Let's see, who else is on the line from the city of Beaumont? I do see Chief Ognachek on the line. I also see Officer Murrow on the line. Before we go there, is there anyone representing the Port of Beaumont, Jefferson County? Any information coming from the state and or federal government? I do want to let everyone know that we are approaching election season. So please govern yourselves accordingly. come into the know of not only national candidates, but candidates that have your local interest at their disposal, I guess say. Be engaged with them, find out again who they are. Let them know what your expectations are as a, as a resident of the area. Again, please be engaged with our elected officials. Any questions for Sheree? Awesome. So we'll move now to our Beaumont Police Active Calls for Service and reports from Haley Morrow.
Haley's not on, it's Officer Riley. Can you hear me?
I see you, Officer Riley. Good evening. My apologies.
No, you're fine. Well, we have several things to go over, but first of all, I hope you get to feeling well. I saw your message that you're under the weather, so I hope you're feeling better. First, I want to go over something that's been on a lot of people's minds. It's the criminal mischief that occurred at Charlton-Pollard Park. I know a lot of people were very upset, about the damage that was caused to something that everybody had been pushing for and working so hard to have for their community. The detective that is assigned to it has been working closely with our sergeant in the Fuchsias, our new camera systems that we have. He's been going door to door, speaking with different people that have cameras in the area. And, we've posted it on Crime Stoppers. There are things in the works trying to locate the culprits, and then things in the works to stop future damage to the parks. I heard several people talk about it in city council and in other meetings, but just so you know, that's something that we're all disturbed by, and we are working diligently to see if we can't find people that were involved. We had several juveniles involved in numerous things throughout the city, several cases that we had in the Charlton-Pollard area. In fact, we had 15 charges that were brought against a 13, a 12, and an 11-year-old. 2 of them were sisters. 1 of them was a male. 13 cases to date. 9 were criminal mischief, 1 auto burglary, 2 regular burglaries, and 1 UUMV. These children were involved in a lot of crime, and they're suspects in other crimes. There are also a few other juveniles that are suspects involved in some of these cases with them. Everything from breaking into businesses, busting windows out in retaliation against people in the Charlton-Pollard community, just out there wreaking havoc. So our juvenile detectives are on top of that, working to get everybody involved in that little rash of crime sprees handled. In fact, the male in this, right after the juvenile detective spoke with him about several crimes, turned around, went out, and was involved in stealing firearms, a burglary, all kinds of mess, and he was taken straight to Minnie Rogers. So a lot of problems with those individuals. We had an auto burglary involving Desmond Baltazar, Quindarius Moore, and a juvenile 14-year-old. Stole a Kia off of Nisi, and Calcasieu Sheriff's Office got into a pursuit with them and contacted our detectives and let them know that the vehicle was recovered, that those individuals were arrested for an array of crimes, including auto thefts, thefts of firearms, things like that in the Sulphur. And
she said, I want to do the packages, and then you have to, and it's already paid for. So I'm gonna go.
And then
$4 plus the internet.
And then let's see. So that's the auto theft. Then we had a burglary with an unforced entry. We had 9 family violence related calls, 1 incident where there was an injury to an elderly where a neighbor assaulted an older neighbor, 22 animal related calls. We had a scam report where one of the Charlton-Pollard residents was contacted and told that he had won something via Facebook. He was notified that way, and then he also was notified by somebody that he knew via Facebook Messenger and told that this wasn't a scam, it was legit. The person or entity that was telling him that he won something told him that he needed to send a $500 Apple gift card to claim his reward. He reached back out to the known friend on Messenger, and that person told him, oh yeah, that's legit, send them the $500 Apple card. The entity told him they never received it, that he'd have to send again. He sent another $500, started really feeling like it was a scam, called the person instead of going through Facebook Messenger, found out it was indeed a scam, and got another notification saying he'd have to send $7,000 to get his reward because it was coming via a huge truck. So crazy scams like that, somebody reaching out to you on Facebook Messenger, be careful, people get hacked all the time. Please don't fall for stuff like that. Other than that, those were the biggest incidents that we had. We did have some other criminal mischiefs where they knew the suspect that broke their vehicle. We had a couple of crashes, things like that. Anybody have any questions?
You can also type your questions in the chat if you like, and I'll definitely communicate that to the appropriate individual. Thank you again, Officer Riley, for being here this evening. And thank you again for that information. Please, everybody, be cautious about responding to some of our assumed associates on Facebook, Instagram, and others, social media sites. Again, some of our real affiliates aren't aware that their account may have been hacked and or ghosted, which means if somebody made a copy of it, their pictures and everything are all the same. One of the things I do know is that if you go to their Facebook page and or their Instagram page, and their information is very limited as far as like what they have posted, that is a clear sign that this may not be the individual that's wearing your friend's or family member's picture on that profile. The association is also a victim of some hacking. Again, we sort of kind of combated that, reporting that to the social media authorities. And again, if someone is telling you to send a Apple card or a Walmart gift card, 9 times out of 10, that's fraud. But other than that, thank you again, Officer Raleigh, for that information. Chief, do you have anything you would like to communicate?
No, unless you have a question. We
Awesome.
had that recent meeting, a week and a half ago or so. So I think everybody's caught up on my stuff.
Awesome. And we did greatly appreciate your presence with us on that weekend, Chief.
Yes, sir.
See you. Let's move to our business neighbors reports and communications. If there are any businesses, and I see a few, So I would definitely like to acknowledge Ellen Buchanan, Chase Porter, Pastor Sharp, and we'll just actually, Pastor Sharp, if you don't mind, I would like for you to go first, because I know you have a pressing meeting later on. So if we could yield the floor to Pastor Sharp.
Thank you, Chris. One of the things I wanted to come and share with the association tonight is on the 31st, there was a special workshop, a budget workshop for the 2025 budget cycle for the city. And one of the interesting things that stood out is the possible rate increase for the water and wastewater departments. Now, I think I said it wrong on last night, and Sheree, you correct me if I'm wrong again. But these departments have to be self-sustaining, and so one of the things that they are looking at in the recommendation that's going to be in the budget on next Tuesday, presented to council, is a rate increase for both of those departments. Now, and the amount is gonna, I don't know the exact amount, but it's gonna be like $5+ total. That's possible increase of water and sewer rates for all of the citizens in Beaumont. So one of the things that I thought about was, if you had an opportunity to talk directly to the city manager or city council and give your input on whether or not you would, which direction you would like to go, either an increase in the rate or a reduction in services, which would you do? Now, on last night, we had another meeting, and I was able to pass that information along to the city manager. And so I would ask all of you tonight, if you could just simply take this little survey, if Chris could put it up on the screen, and just scan that QR code, or in the comment section, there's a link in the comment section, and you just click that link, and just it's just a 2-part choice question. Would you rather an increase in the water and sewer rates, or a reduction in services, which will give, and we'll pass that information along to council and the staff, so that they'll know, hey, look, this is where the citizens are, because ultimately.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm clear on what you're stating, or at least let me give you my perspective, and then just clarity. When it comes to like water and sewer, from my understanding, those proposed possible increases are really just to cover the expenses. Some of it is probably due to inflation and things like that. But if we were talking about like garbage, then the possibility of lower service or reduced services would be more applicable. I don't think it applies to water and sewer. Some of that is just as what it's an enterprise fund. So the water and sewer, those are like a business that just has to run. It really, you typically don't cross it with the general fund. So when you say reduction in services, that could be applicable to your garbage, or like if they pick up the big trash, like, hey, I don't want as many big trash pickups. I don't want to increase based on my perspective about it. But water and sewer is a little bit different. I don't have all the details that you have in front of you, but I just want to kind of make that a clear point, so it's not, because people, of course, I mean, as a citizen, I would say, oh yeah, reduction. I mean, some people may say that. I'm not sure what that perspective is, but at least that there's clarity around it. These are enterprise funds. These are companies, and they have to run. We're not talking about this equals a salary increase for employees. It has nothing to do with it. It's really just the operation and management side of it. So I just kind of want to bring clarity to that point.
Thank you, Miles. And that's, that's a great point to make. But, it's still one of the things that the citizens need to know, that there is a possibility of a rate increase. So normally what happens is, after the fact, people get upset about an increase because they didn't know about it. So here's an opportunity for the people to know about it and to give our feedback to those in charge.
Yeah, 100%. I just when you use that language, I just want to make sure there's a little bit clarity around it.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Sheree.
Yeah, I think I think it's kind of been touched on, and just to kind of recap from Pastor Sharp, you did a much better job tonight than last night. So yes, as previously mentioned, those two are enterprise funds that are not funded just by law, not funded out of the general fund. So as Pastor Sharp mentioned, they do have to be self-sustaining. Water is built. Trash services are built with water services. And so when they talked about that reduction in service, they were referring directly to trash pickup. And as Miles indicated, we do a lot of heavy trash pickup. We're probably one of the only cities that do heavy trash pickup every single day. So a reduction in service could look like less heavy trash pickups. It could also look be some additional costs passed on to private trash pickup companies that use our landfills, additional costs there. There's definitely some inflation that goes around with this, but just looking at what we charge compared to surrounding cities and comparable cities, we are pretty much right now below average. Raising our rates would put us right in line with the average still being lower than most, at least projected. And just in case people are interested in understanding like why this is happening, because if you're thinking like, oh, there was a proposed rate increase a couple years ago, in order to keep up, in order for that fund, the water and sewer, wastewater to maintain, as Miles mentioned, they have to operate. They have to be self-sustaining. So we can't, like if we loan them money, they have to pay that money back. They have to be self-sustaining businesses. And so just like with any other business, things have to be adjusted. The city is looking, and we've spent a lot of time just auditing some of our agreements, looking at ways that the city could, not raise rates as much in terms of like making sure that we're passing that cost on equally and fairly across the board to both businesses and residential customers, so that not one group of or section is paying an unequal share. So a lot of thought did go into this. These numbers were recommended by a private consultant that comes in and basically evaluates the city's rates to see that they are for. That they're fair, that they're projected to do well, that increasing these rates will make sure that this fund can stay sustainable and viable as long as it's operating, which in our case is in perpetuity. As long as the city exists, these funds need to exist. And there was a projected that a recommendation that we consider raising rates like every year, so that it's not a dramatic increase. And so citizens could possibly see our proposed rate increases for the next couple of years until either the cost of materials flattens out and we're able to kind of maintain. But I think it's also important to note that if we don't do this, then the fund won't be soluble, that at some point it would look like them being unable to operate. And so that would, we would have to consider some type of reduction in services in some way.
Well-rounded information. Thank you again, Pastor Sharp. Thanks, Miles and Sheree. I greatly appreciate that breakdown of that. Again, residents, I ask that you govern yourselves accordingly to the survey, as well as reaching out to our local officials about any concerns that we may have. Again, it was broken down well on this evening. So again, please feel free to share that information. Any other questions? Awesome. So I will go to Miss Buchanan. Miss Ellen, you have the floor.
Good evening, Ellen Buchanan. I'm with the Golden Triangle Sierra Club Group and the Big Thicket Natural Heritage Trust and a few other things. I guess what's big on our plate is this last week, and the Sierra Club did comment on the OCI clean ammonia plant that plans to double their pollution. They're doubling the size of their plant and doubling the size of their pollution instead of, doing something to lessen the pollution. So we did comment, and Chris, we did ask for a public meeting so that everyone could go and find out more about this and to tell TCEQ what we don't appreciate about this plant. So just continuing to work on trying to keep back a little bit of pollution and flooding and everything else that goes on around here. And we appreciate all the work that y'all do.
Thank you for working with us, Miss Ellen. Any questions for Miss Ellen? I also want to throw out there that we are partnered with the Big Ticket Biosphere, especially when it comes to the garden that we're getting ready to do at the American Legion Post 33. Ecstatic about having a pollinator garden in that area. Again, thanks again for allowing us to partner with you and your group, Miss Ellen. And Mrs.
Mary Bernard.
That's
Mary.
it, Miss Bernard.
Oh, well, we're looking forward to the garden. It's going to be great. Absolutely. And the flowers this year, if y'all noticed, were fabulous, because we got all that rain this spring. And so I have plants that barely made it last year, and this year they're taller than I am. So kind of amazing. So we hope to do the same for y'all. Have a beautiful pollinator garden out there.
Awesome. Awesome, man. We're looking forward to working with you all as well, Miss Ellen. Any questions or comments to Miss Ellen? Awesome, awesome. So I did see Miss Lavallee. I'm not sure if she's still here. So Miss Lavallee, Miss Gwendolyn Lavallee, you have the floor.
I'm sorry, it took me a minute to
Not a problem.
get to the mute button, but I just wanted to join in. Regina was unable to make it, and we want to just have a presence. We are certainly interested in following up on the walk with the doc there. And I'd like to meet, I think, with Miss Wright so that we can look at our options and find a good starting time. But that's about it for me.
So Miss Lavallee is, well, Dr. I'm so sorry. Dr. Lavallee is from the booth. With me.
Yes, I am indeed.
And it is a pleasure to have you engaging with our community. She's also one of the advocates in the Gift of Life, working closely with several individuals, men and women, especially the men. So again, we definitely appreciate this partnership that we're going to rightfully develop for the best interests of our neighbors within our community, young and old. So again, Dr. Lavallee, thank you. Any questions? Awesome, awesome. So we'll definitely communicate any other upcoming events with the Gift of Life as they come to us via text or email. Thanks again, Doc. I now see Alex Lee. If you would, please unmute yourself. and give us your report if you have any.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just joining the call, seeing all the wonderful things being done in and around the city. I am a native of Beaumont, Texas, and here recently I was I gotta put it out there that I'm a graduate of Beaumont Central, the Jaguars. If we have any alumni out there, Chris is one for sure. Here recently I was the St. Landry Parish Clerk of Court Archivist, and I am the whole time I have been in the city of Beaumont, with having conversations with my cousin Chris. I definitely want to get more involved into the communities because I know I bring a lot of value with some of the things that I have been doing for the culture, especially centered around the migration of the people from Louisiana to Jefferson County and Southeast Texas. And, having conversations with him, I definitely want to get more involved with my hometown. I'm here, but I'm also doing a lot of phenomenal things out there. I just recently started a group called the Southwest Louisiana Genealogy Research Group. And I'm also the owner of Alex Genealogy, which is now a global brand that's been connecting families all over the world. So, I'm definitely a great representation of the resources of Beaumont, Texas. A lot of my research began at the Terrell Historical Library, in which I now give a few seminars here and there. But I'm doing things all over the world simply because of the resources that I had got from the library. And I'm just happy to join you all, and I'm looking forward to connecting with everybody on here.
Awesome. Again, I got bragging rights. Yes, that's my cousin. No, just kidding. Thank you, Alex, for participating on this evening, man. I'm looking forward to working with you and the rest of our family. And thank you again for the great work that you do, not only for Beaumont residents or Louisiana residents, but like you mentioned, individuals that have touched the entire globe. You are phenomenal, my friend, my cousin, my brother. And you're more than welcome, man. You're more than welcome. He's also a North End resident, so there's that affiliation with the North End Neighborhood Association that he brings as well. Any other questions for my cousin? Awesome. So I will move now to Bruce Hamilton. If you have any information, he's my post brother, post 33. Do you have anything you'd like to give this evening?
No, not tonight. I just want to remind everybody we do have the stand down, the veteran stand down coming up at the Beaumont Civic Center on September the 20th. And everyone, we're glad that y'all continue to meet at the American Legion Post 33, and welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We're also looking for updated memberships to our posts as well. So if you know a veteran that's not registered to a post, please send them our way. 1320 Pennsylvania Avenue, or Park Street, depending on if you're coming or going. Yeah, so it's open to all veterans, males and females. So please reach out to our veteran community and let them know they have a support group available. Any questions for Bruce? Awesome. I do see LaDonna Sherwood. She's also a business member of our community. You have the floor. Then following her, we'll give the floor to Dr. Ayodeji with Prairie View A&M. Following that, we'll hear from Perry Busby, and then hear from our partner, Chase Porter with Lone Star Legal. Ms. Sherwood, you have the floor.
Hi, guys. I'm super excited to be on with you tonight. I just kind of wanted to pop in and just be a part of this community organization. I know that we do have recent or upcoming elections in November. I want to remind everybody that while a lot of us are already registered, Lamar University will be having an event on September 4th. If you are a deputy registrar or you want to come and get yourself registered or have any voter registration changes that need to be made, we are partnering with the Collegiate 100, and we are partnering with Future Culture Society to get people registered. If they need to be registered, we'll be in the Setzer Center at Lamar University on September 4th from 12 noon to 6 p.m. And we will be there again for Welcome Week, registering voters and making sure that people are registered to vote. And I'm here for you guys if you need me in any capacity.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Sherwood, for that information. And thank you for all the work you do getting our youth and our middle-aged community to the polls and register to vote, exercising their civic duties. I appreciate all that you do and individuals you have engaging with you as well. Next. Dr. Audede?
Good evening. I didn't plan to talk, but now that you've called me, can you hear me? All right. Thank you, everyone. My name is Ayodeji again, and I'm leading in collaboration with South End Pollard Greater District Community Association to work on community health and air pollution in both Beaumont and Port Arthur. If you recall, I've been here with you in the past, talking about what we are doing in the community. We are still working, and very soon, for those who have volunteered to participate as a community researcher or coordinator or household air monitor host, we will be reaching out very soon. Thank you.
Awesome, and we do have that information available as well as flyers for individuals to register and participate on any facet. Again, these are incentivized participations. You're more than welcome to fill out the application to participate. And again, as we move closer to pushing everything out to the community, you'll definitely see JJ's face, as well as other individuals from Prairie View and Lamar University, and other partnerships that we have. Again, we have collaborated and intertwined the engagements that we're doing with Prairie View. And again, we infuse the scenario plannings discussions as well with that incentives. So it's not just for the South End community. As you heard, it's Beaumont and Port Arthur. We're identifying, disparities, whether it's health and or a scenario that, individuals feel is an opportunity or something that we need to prepare for. So aside from that, we do meet very often with the neighborhood association and many other partners. Those meetings range from sometimes in the morning to sometimes in the evening, depending on our schedule. I will definitely communicate that information to you all. Please send your contact email to the neighborhood association if we do not already have it, so that we can add you to our information and communication. Um, who's next? Chase.
Hey, everybody. Chase Porter from Lone Star Legal Aid. Thanks, Chris, for giving me a little moment to speak. I didn't come with anything prepared, but on the back of the last thing we heard, I do have an update. Back in July, the Lone Star Legal Aid, on behalf of the association and some other organizations in Beaumont, Port Arthur, we submitted comments to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. Every year, the commission publishes a draft air monitoring plan that tells the public where they are going to place and operate regulatory grade air monitors. These are the big, kind of look like trailers that kind of big decisions, big policy and legal decisions are made by the state and the federal government. We focused our comments in Beaumont on trying to get to see if the commission would add a air monitor kind of along the I-10 corridor. That is if you're not aware, the busiest stretch of highway in Texas outside of DFW, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, and El Paso. Very, very busy stretch of road. There's currently no monitors along the highway or near the highway that monitor the type of pollution that you tend to see from cars and trucks. So unfortunately, the commission responded a few weeks ago that they were going to decline to add a monitor. So we're going to together look at our options and speak with our partners to see if there are some local solutions on and maybe opportunities to get some increased air monitoring along that stretch of road in central Beaumont that we hope would help all the residents of both the south end, but the north end as well, to understand a little bit better the air quality in the area, identify days that air quality may be particularly bad, and you know, just see what that data says and give everyone a little bit of a better understanding of the situation across Beaumont. So we'll be, you know, putting our heads together and thinking of ways to advocate for air monitoring, and it'll be really interesting to see the efforts that the association's doing with the universities and finding ways to use that to see if we can increase the air monitoring in the area. Thanks.
Awesome information, Chase. Greatly appreciate that information, especially the partnership and as well as reaching back to the association regarding several industries that are poised to develop around us. As Ms. Ellen mentioned, pollution or emissions is definitely going to be increased in the area with, you know, new industries and plants that are coming to the area. Of course, we are not against advancement in this area, but we are definitely against choking us out, depriving us from breathing fresh air. With that being said, the South End is a environmental justice community of concern. It's not a badge of honor. It's actually, you know, something that is on the government's attention list, sort of, kind of. So we'll definitely keep operating according to the recommendations by Chase and other partners that we have, again, to mitigate anything. He's also working with us about, you know, some of the other issues that we have, like trains that sit within the area and emit or idle and emit emissions within residential areas. And again, that's not just an issue in the South End. This is also something that we are seeing citywide, as well as noise pollution is extremely heavy with a lot of those trains. I've heard several times it's hard to govern or, approach the railroads. But I'm grateful that we have Chase and a mouth like mine will never give up. So any other questions? Awesome, awesome. So our agenda calls for education, neighbors, reports, and communications. I have not received any from our community. I will like to say welcome to our newest principal at Charlton-Pollard Elementary. Miss Belinda is a phenomenal educator and administrator, and I would ask that you all go by, meet her, and see what it is that we could accentuate on campus and educating our children. Again, we are ecstatic to have her in the community, and welcome back to all students back in the school as well. Hopefully, with that being said, most of our youth crime will sort of kind of decrease. But again, it's going to definitely take the entire community for us to, curtail those types of attitudes and behavior. Any other question? Awesome, awesome. I do see Chris Watkins. Is there anything you would like to communicate to the association and our guests as well? Hearing none, I will open the floor again later. Committee members' reports. Faith-based neighbors, reports, and communications. Church announcements, which is what we call it. If there anyone that would like to communicate any engagement within their church and or church community, please feel free. You have the floor now. Awesome, awesome. I also see, committee members' reports and communications. I'll come back to you in the second period because I know you have some information that pertains directly to the association. So our committee members' reports and communication, our bank statement is available for review. We have received that. Most of the times we receive it either the day before or the day after the neighborhood association meeting. But all of that information is here as well. Any questions? Awesome, awesome. The Association and Communications Committee had our first meet and greet with existing and potential community partners for future collaborations and engagements of the area. So what we did was partnered with the Southeast Texas Family Resource Center, invited many organizations and corporations and individuals, leaders within the community, so that we can get to know each other as the association and as a representative of their groups and organizations and even communities did show up as well. So we are ecstatic about it. We're planning to do a wider or a larger meet and greet You'll be definitely getting more information about it as we continue to do the planning for it. Um, I can say that it will be an eat and greet. I know I like to eat. So we will definitely again be in communication with you all about the planning and engagement as well. Hopefully get some buy-in from you all as well as the rest of our neighbors. Any questions? Awesome. If you want to know more and or communicate your personal email or business email, please send a email to the South End Charlton-Pollard GHCA@yahoo.com. Communications committee has communicated with potential website developers and is in recommending Fire Spring Web Solutions for contracted services needed for website and online presences. The communications committee searched for a developer that would not only build our site, but also train our neighbors and residents on how to manage such things, as well as streamline any other communication to our resources. So with that being said, I will, let's see, give me just a second. Oh, so this, I'm sorry. Oh, well, can you all see my screen? Awesome. So the South End Charlton-Pollard Greater Historic Community Association has received a quote, actually from Fire Spring. Our ambassadors will have the opportunity to streamline communication, receive information, enroll, engage, gather information from the association, um, communicate, maybe even air out some grievances that we would, of course, communicate to the proper officials and also maybe the authorities on those concerns. Um, as you know, we did draft a grant that would give us access to funding for ongoing maintenance as well as what's required to maintain our website. Other than that, we do have a few days that we would like to completely review and make some implementations, maybe even some changes that would benefit the association. But as of this, as you see on the screen, all of that plus this option, which is add engaged services, which is what our training would be, integrated email marketing, automation tools, even portals for individuals such as members, volunteers, etc. So the one-time fee is $26.99. We will definitely be communicating our tax exemption status to them, as well as our monthly fees that you see are $95, $15, and $70. Again, the incentive is if we get started by August 30th, our fee will be waived until December 1st, 2024. So here are some of the, I'm sorry. Here are some of the information that we'll be communicating and agreeing to. Again, the directors of the association have been given this information as well as any other informations that sort of kind of goes with this, including the education programming and everything else that would tie to it. Any questions? Awesome, awesome. So now we have our, let's see, our appropriate committees are awaiting general communication on the vandalism. Of course, Officer Riley did address that, and as well as our Parks Director did have some information he wanted to communicate as well, as he apologized for not being on the line. So he says, we are working on getting prices, the replacement of damaged items, and the contractor from Houston will be on site in the coming days to analyze issues with the splash pad. Staff will stripe a football field in Charlton-Pollard in the coming weeks. Hopefully, that works out extremely well for our participants that use our field or use our park for practicing baseball, football, and hopefully soccer. The new swing set has been installed. I don't know if you have passed by. Very attractive. It's something again that we have asked for, especially under the installation of Mr. Williams as the new city manager, and Mr. Reggett as the new Parks Director. We appreciate them listening. Although we do know it takes a while, and we try to communicate that to some of our neighbors as well. A new crepe myrtle was installed where the tree died as you walk into the park. So there was one tree that wasn't bearing fruit. It was removed and replaced. He also said figs continue to fruit. When I tell y'all, it's an array, a variety of food. It's not just one fig, and I always thought it was one fig. But it's several different types of figs that are available. The other day I went to the park just to see what it looked like, and I had to fight the birds in order to get one. Just one fig, y'all. But I definitely encourage you all to take a gander around our park, look at some of the upgrades that are projected to come, as well as we do, like I said, we do have many other partnerships where we'll be using the facilities at our park and our park as well. Dr. Lavallee did mention about some shade. We also reached out to Mr. Reggett about planting some trees, sort of kind of having a tree planting ceremony. Again, that's all in the plans of the eat and greet. So please again, keep your ear to the street. And if you want to participate, please let us know. Any questions so far? Awesome, awesome. O News, our insurance broker has, let's see what's going on. Okay, So our insurance broker has also sent us a quote. Just a second, let me pull that up. Awesome. So, let's see. So here is the quote from our insurance. Again, this is nonprofit insurance that is required, I would say, for our type of association, especially being that we do have the attempts and hopes to do an array of different things like full contact sports and or flag sports, choirs, step teams, different things like that to engage not only our youth, but to also engage the broader community. We do have some specialties that were requested. Again, it's a terrorism component that's added to the policy. And with that component, please let me know if you want me to slow down. But with that component, there is also the protection of our, properties and whatnot, especially if we were to have, something of that nature. Maybe, that's all. I would say it's a good idea to have just in case for something that we are not aware of or expecting. Many nonprofits in New York, in the New York area, are now required to have terrorist insurance so that they are covered. Any questions as of as of late about any insurance? Awesome, awesome. So I'll run through this pretty quick. The association is seeking ambassadors willing to join us in the progression and move upward and onward in the favor of all residents within our service area. We are building our slate of officers and would like to have you to engage with us. Officers must live within the boundaries of the association unless approved by vote from the enrolled ambassadors. The same criteria for committee chairpersons will be available for ambassadors to participate as well. All ambassadors must complete and submit the forms provided by the association in compliance with our bylaws. There is also the association email that you can reach out to for more information and or more details. Any questions? Awesome. The official South End Charlton-Pollard Greater Historic Community Association information guide is available for public distribution, and that's via paper. Again, we're trying to minimize the amount of paper that we use. We will have that information available to access via our website so that members can enroll, review, and or sign and submit those particulars that's affiliated with the association. I'm ecstatic about getting this website, because if you know, as a nonprofit organization, most funding sources want to have want you to have, or the organization rather, to have access to a website. So like our Microsoft Word, Canva, other PC operated, or resources that's free to nonprofits, don't really come to the association until we have that website. So we're definitely pushing to get that. So we'll be in a different bracket of having access to funding sources. Any questions? Awesome, awesome. The 2 grants produced by the association will be sent to potential funding sources in coming days. The new information about that is research on funding entities and potential funding partners in these endeavors are being addressed specifically to local and national entities. Agreements for advertising on our website and or printed materials will be discussed to show our affiliations and their contributions to the cause of the association. For more information and ways to participate, please feel free to email us at the Neighborhood Association's email. Any questions? Awesome. Item number 4, neighbors' concerns, issues, and resolutions. Of course, we did speak on the water and sewage rate increase, so we're not going to go over that again. I do ask if you can participate in the survey and render your recommendations and or opinions. Going back up, we are still seeing some overgrown lots and right-of-ways throughout the association. Again, these are public right-of-ways around stop signs, around yield signs. And so I'm not sure if that's parks or clean community, but I have reached out to both of them, and hopefully we'll get some issues resolved when it comes to the right-of-way. Vacant properties have been, bidded out by the city of Beaumont. 2 individuals that are, I guess, appropriate for handling that type of work, as well as the many yards that they cut. So if you do have some information where there's or concern about high grass, I would ask that you call 311, report that information along with the address, and maybe a cross street if there isn't a house there. You know that the association has drafted a grant that would help us mitigate some of these overgrowth. It's the aesthetics grant that the association has put together to acquire lawn equipment and tools available to us so that we could assist our seniors and working families, and as well as the disabled individuals in the community on some lawn maintenance, assisted lawn maintenance. Aside from that, any questions? Awesome. We have communicated with the city code enforcement director about the large trash that still is sitting on the upper portion of the southbound side of the underpass. The director stated that she had communicated to the appropriate crews for removal, but nothing has happened yet. We will be in communication again with the director and maybe even pull this heavy trash, this is large trash, by the way, to a more accessible area for our trucks that can pick it up. Again, this is under the underpass, sort of, kind of, but on the upper embankment. And that's on this side of Irving Street and not the other side of Irving Street, close to Washington. Any questions? Awesome, awesome. Well, everyone, I definitely appreciate again you all tuning in with us this evening. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself. 409-499-9031 is my number. Again, the South End Charlton-Pollard GHCA@yahoo.com is the email. Our address is 1045 Doucette Avenue, Beaumont, Texas 77701. And our PO box is 2790 Beaumont, Texas 77704-2790. I again hope you all are well. Thank you again for understanding, and I look forward to seeing you in the great by and by. You have a good one.